Yeah.
Um,
Hey everyone, this is Reena with the Peace Nine podcast, Path of Light, and I'm super excited today to have Lucas Light on as a guest. Lucas, welcome.
Thank you, Reena. It's a super pleasure.
So excited because you and I met at the Soul Search conference. I had gone to visit Jenny and had no intention of walking the hall or meeting anybody else. And as I'm walking out, I see your booth in a corner. And the white just, I was like, oh, another white person, another person in all white with, you had the table white and you had all these beautiful gadgets on. And so I came to say hi, and then the rest is history. And so I wanted to invite you as a guest to share with everyone your superpowers, your journey, and what is it that you see coming into this new transition that we are all going into. So let's start with your history. Lucas, tell everyone, who is Lucas Light? What is your history? How have you ended up on this chair today?
So, I guess I would start with my early childhood. So, me and my dad had an interesting relationship as I was growing up. My dad had gone through a very specific type of pattern that has been multi-generational through our family, where there is two sons, and the younger son is always favored over the older son, and the older son is ignored and treated like there's something wrong with him. And so I always knew that there was something very different about me when I came into my family and when I came to this world. I understood, I was like, oh, wow, this is really fresh to me. This is kind of a new situation. And I felt out of place and I felt like I didn't really have the tool sets to really deal with it in my physical surroundings.
So you were the younger child
No, I
or
was
the
the
older
older.
child? You were the older child. Okay.
So my younger brother would always get all the attention, and then I
Ah,
would be kind of shunned and told that there was something wrong with me. And so I got put on medications when I was around 8 years old. I was put on ADHD medications
oh wow.
because I wasn't learning what they wanted me to learn or growing in the direction that they wanted me to grow in. And so I know a lot of people are put on medications as children, and I understand the pain and the suffering and the numbness that comes with that. And I actually had this massive gap of memory from the age of around 7 to 18,
Oh wow.
where I didn't remember much of my life during that time. And I actually ended up growing up in the foster care system eventually. My family was extremely dysfunctional, and I was abandoned at a gas station when I was 11 by my parents, and I ended up growing up in the foster care system.
Oh my God.
They intentionally set it up in a way where I ended up in this boot camp, and I was raised by the foster care system beyond that. And so, yeah, when I ended up turning 18, I had so much suppressed anger and rage and judgment towards other people that I would beg to suppress this somehow, to figure out ways to be able to let this not be something that I had to deal with, all of this sadness, all this pain. And so I would eat and I would smoke weed and I would do things that would suppress this, and it would go away for a little while, and I just only have the bliss of these flavor profiles. I would have the numb sensation of overeating and not being able to think. And so it would be a temporary relief, but then you wake up and you have inflammation throughout your body and you have no clarity in your mind, and the spiritual connection, forget about it. It's like you've completely just said, you're not important to me. I'm going to concentrate on the physical attributes and allow this to be my reality for now. And so, yeah, I went through a phase of my life where I begged God. I was like, please, like, allow me to have a path. I understand that you are available to me. And so I got guided to yoga. I started doing yoga. I started doing cardio. I eliminated a lot of the processed foods that were in my life. And I ended up moving to a whole foods diet, and that led to other fitness exercises. I worked with some coaches that really made a profound difference in my life and taught me a lot about the energy work that I really needed in my life as far as releasing things that were trauma that I had taken on and forgiveness work. And these attributes, once I was able to start practicing them on a regular basis and understanding that these were divine character traits of what attracts sacredness into your life, what attracts the highest frequency of God into your life, I started experiencing these really profound awakenings that would come into my system. And would hit me in layers a
Mm.
lot of the time, where I would have like a really profound breakthrough. And I would get to truly experience a different level of bliss and different level of expansion and a different layer of this being able to liberate energy that had been trapped in my system, that had been taking up capacity with these negative attributes. And so I went through a couple of certification courses working with these different trainers that I had worked with in the past. And yeah, I've been practicing, I've been doing coaching for almost 12 years now and working very diligently with energy work for over 6 years now. And it's just such a pleasure what I get to do when I get to see other people live the same experience that I've gone through and work on these really painful areas of their life. It's tremendously heart-filling to me to get to experience that.
This is the story I think of. I don't know, they call it redemption or they call it, you created the storyline for yourself that you would come in to so much pain and that you would then figure it out for yourself to transcend this pain, to become the God creator that you are, and then you would go out and teach the world how to do the same thing.
Mhm.
So, what a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that. And now, as I understand, you do two main things. One is the biohacking side, which I too am very partial. I'm constantly trying things, and I most of my life, my last decade, I did OMAD, 1 meal a day, and cryo and glutathione and all of it. You do biohacking, you guide people through biohacking, and then the second thing that you do is spiritual work, spiritual clearing. Let's start with the biohacking first.
Mhm.
What's your program like? Talk a little bit about the program. How many days? How much does it cost? And what is the transformation that it delivers?
Okay, so biohacking in my definition of biohacking is optimizing the human system where we're currently at and learning how to live longer, how to be able to have the whole system function as one with wholeness on the deepest possible level that we have. And in order to do this, I try to work with the path of least resistance when we're doing this work. And so there's a lot of different options that you can get with biohacking, as you know. And you were telling me about the hyperbaric oxygen chamber that you were doing. And that's something it's out of reach for a lot of people as
Yes,
far as financial means. And so there's some very simple techniques that people can be doing that will make the most tremendous difference on their life. And so can I give a couple of examples of things
absolutely.
that I would love to share? Okay. So the first thing that I teach anyone is simple ear massage.
Ah,
And so it's such a simple practice and it makes such a tremendous difference for your body. And you
go
know,
ahead and let's do it. So, Guru Omananji led a session for us on Guru Purnima, and the whole thing was just an ear massage. Oh, yeah, so walk us through it.
yeah. And so when we're connecting with our body but starting with the earlobe and just making it a sensual, not a sexual experience, but loving yourself and loving your body, and then slowly moving to the top of the earlobe into the little canal that's on top of that. And this going in and this massaging between your thumb and your forefinger and moving up slowly up the upper ridge to the middle of the ear, top, staying on the outside of the ear. Just making sure you're massaging that whole section on the side of the ear as you're going up. getting up to the top of the ear and just gently pulling and massaging slightly as you're going through it and sticking your forefinger into the little crevice on the top of the ear and massaging deep into that little crevice nice and lightly, gently, lovingly. And moving to the top inside of the ear as it starts to connect the facial tissue. This slightly pulling and massaging as you're going through this. And then moving into the inner crevice of the ear, the next layer on top, where your finger can go into this crevice, this gently massaging and pulling at the same time between the forefinger and the thumb. And moving a little bit lower, going into that next little crevice, onto the bottom of the ear next to the ear hole itself, going underneath the ear hole, and this massaging back and forth around the bottom edge of that. And then massaging the tissue that connects not to the ear, or it's connected to the ear and the facial tissue next to the ear hole. Mm. And then taking your palm and putting it against the ear and this pushing and giving it a nice massage on the side of the ear. And then going to the outside of the ear on the back of the skull and this massaging the outside of the skull and the face a little bit at the same time. Mm. And nice and simple. So it's about a 2-minute routine, and you can do both of your ears at the same time once you get good at it. And I like to use like an arnica oil when I do this. It
Mm.
promotes circulation, it promotes skin health. And what we're doing is we're affecting all of these different acupressure points throughout our entire system. And it's incredible the intricacy of the body and how intelligent it is, like how much we can actually activate just through the ears. And so, yeah, that's a very simple practice that you can do in.
And you're absolutely right. When you look at a picture of ear acupuncture, you see the endings and you realize if I want to improve the health of a particular organ, all I need to do is start massaging. So
Mm.
your 2 minutes sounds like it's like a shower for the organs,
Oh, yeah,
right?
tremendous.
You're bathing, we bathe the outside, we never bathe the inside. And to me,
Mm.
Bikram yoga was always about bathing the inside because
Mhm.
I always felt when I came out of Bikram yoga like I had just been showered on the inside.
Mhm.
And this is what a quick, easy, simple way to start your day. And as Guru Omananji said at the end, he goes, you pull in Shakti. When you do this, you're pulling in Shakti into your different organs because
Mhm.
fingers, they are Shakti, right? We have so much energy in these fingertips. So by massaging, you're not just massaging, you're actually sending light into these organs.
Mm.
Do what you were doing. And I thought, wait a minute, you're also sending light into the organs.
Mm.
Incredible.
So, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, so if you could give someone one free practice for biohacking that would be able to make the most tremendous difference in someone's life, what would it be?
Can I give two?
Yeah, hit me.
Because I can't decide between these two. The first is Dr. Zach Bush's nitric oxide dump. So it's a very simple, very quick practice. We have a video with Dr. Zach Bush. He's a triple board certified MD. He'd come to my home. He'd done a heal circle and he demonstrated it. He created it. Nitric oxide is the healing molecule.
Mhm.
And if you can, in a couple of minutes, bring this into your body, and you can do it 3 times a day, it will transform your life. It's not even a question.
Mm.
The second biohack, which especially if you're like 40 and above, I think it's non-negotiable. Don't eat after 7 p.m. Do not eat after 7 p.m. So in my case, it was really 5 p.m., right? Don't eat after 5 p.m.
Mhm.
because the body can only cleanse and heal when it's not digesting and dealing with all the crap that we feed it.
Hmm.
So, and it only happens at night when we have deep sleep. So, if you're
Hmm.
eating late, you are not deeply sleeping. You're not getting into rest and recover. And to me, this is the only secret of longevity. When we talk about not aging, it is not putting things in me, although God knows I do all of it.
Hmm.
But it really is treating your body as the most sophisticated biologic that self-heals and then respecting the parameters of self-healing by not overeating at night and not eating late.
Yes. I love that. Can I cross the hemispheres between spirituality and biohacking real quick?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Lucas, tell us, how is biohacking and spirituality connected?
So when we trust our body and when we respect our body and our mind, and we understand that we have the control over it as far as the way that we work with it, it starts to behave in a completely different way. Because when we're giving up our control constantly, as far as saying, my stomach hurts, therefore it's bad. If something in me is going through suffering, it's wrong and it doesn't deserve my love. This is something that a lot of people are doing, and I've done it so much in my life. And the most liberating thing that you can do is to love your body and love your mind and love who you are. And to understand love is like it's completely rejuvenating to the system. And so there's actually a practice called the inner smile practice. Are you familiar with it, Reena?
Yes, but please guide us. It's such a beautiful practice.
Yeah. And so the purpose of this practice is to raise your vibration and raise the respect that you have for different areas of your system. And so I'm going to take us through like a very quick 2 minute overview, but it's like this can last for 30, 45 minutes if you really want to expand. And so the easiest way to start is to close our eyes and concentrate on the crown of our head. Visualize a golden beam of light coming in like sunlight shining down on top of our heads. Feeling this golden light, this smiling, loving, rejuvenating light smile on top of this beautiful portal, this connection to everything that is, and this smiling to it, giving gratitude for it being completely connected to this wonderful experience that we're getting to participate in, and that our whole potential be able to come through this. And smiling to our brain, giving gratitude for our brain being so advanced, being strong, continuing to grow and evolve, continuing to activate, continuing to let go of what doesn't serve, giving gratitude for our eyes, smiling to our eyes that we get to see all of the beauty of life, all of the colors, all the wonderful people around us, smiling to our ears for the beautiful sounds and music and conversation that we get to have, smiling to our mouth, giving gratitude for the health of our mouth, trusting in our body's innate intelligence to continue to balance this beautiful organ system with all of its components and our ability to smile to the world and make it a sweeter place. Smiling to our heart center, giving so much gratitude and love to this beautiful expanding center. Smiling to our whole diaphragm, our whole digestive system, our whole breathing system, all of the different organs and components within this. It's giving so much gratitude and smiling to them working in the background constantly with their innate intelligence, and smiling to our blood, giving gratitude for all the sacred geometry that runs through our blood, all of the high frequency energy of God running through our system, lighting us up with this beautiful light, this beautiful kindness, and smiling to our skin, giving gratitude for this beautiful protective layer that we get to experience every day. And giving gratitude for our living area, everything that we own, all of the physical things in our life. Just being happy for what we have and being so grateful for this beautiful experience that we get to have, that we get to be comfortable, all of the comforts that we have, is giving gratitude for them. Smiling to the people in our lives, all of the beautiful, loving people that we get to experience and that are coming into our life, this blessing their lives, sending them so much love and smiling energy. and smiling to the whole population of humans, giving so much gratitude for each of these wonderful people, that everybody be blessed, everybody be awakened. We smile to the plants and to the animals and to this beautiful land, blessing all of this beautiful light that comes down on all of them, and smiling to the whole earth, this beautiful ecosystem that we get to participate in, and smiling to everything that is, to this consciousness, to the infinite creation energy that we get to work with every day that's at our fingertips constantly, and allowing all of this beautiful smiling energy to come back down and bless us straight through the crown of our head. It's allowing this to seep deep into the system and to integrate into our system, sending so much love to our body and mind and soul so that we can bring it back into the world. Full loop, all as one. Thank you. Mm. Thank you.
Wow.
Mm.
So beautiful. It's it's magical when we watch our interiority, our insides transform from sort of a little bit of a bracing, right? Like I'm ready for something, I'm ready to respond, to all is well, life is perfect, and it's a blessing. And how in friggin' hell did I get so lucky? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, right? Like when you get into that mode, when you watch that shift, because if I'm doing a podcast interview, my focus is on you. I want to ask the right questions. So I'm bracing, I'm like in that mode of action. And then doing the meditation with you allowed me to just come back to it will flow, it will go where it goes. It's just beautiful, the meditation that you did. I hope those who are watching will continue to do this first thing in the morning, right? Before you get out of bed, massage your ears and just play this meditation of smiling. Just, smile at all your organs, smile at the world, smile at God. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
absolutely. And I just want to mention one more thing about the meditation. A lot of people might not fully embrace and feel initially certain aspects of it when they're blessing certain areas of their body and appreciating certain things.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. A lot of people lost their sense of smell during COVID.
Yeah.
And to tell themselves that they appreciate so much this beautiful sense organ and that they give so much gratitude for it working correctly, and that the sense of smell, they understand that it's there and that they've just forgotten, and that they've just got caught up in a cycle of believing that it's not reality. They got caught up in a cycle of thinking that there was something that was broken within them, and reminding themselves that they're perfect, that there is no brokenness when we're dealing with the highest frequencies of who we are, and this giving gratitude for it being perfect and going through our system, anything that's you believe is malfunctioning, this giving it that perfection whole energy, and this saying you are whole. I know this love and within me rebalances perfectly.
And that's the perfect setup for the new frequencies we're all experiencing and the transition into the Aquarian age, the age of Aquarius instead of Pisces. Our meditation this morning, we had some very powerful insights, and perhaps we can share some of those here, Lucas. I know one of the most important ones that came in was, and you said we should talk about this, is the embodiment of unity consciousness that allows us to experience the perfect harmony of the masculine within and the feminine within. And we talked about how in Kali Yuga, the energies that dominate are masculine. And so even someone like me that was born extremely feminine, once I graduated from Wharton, the moment you get into work, you realize, oh, geez, I will not survive here
Mm.
being who I am. Let me watch what's the energy embodiment of those that are at the top. And this is all very subconscious, right? And we start emulating that. So I became the embodiment of a partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers or the partner at Oracle, or these are companies I've worked at. And when you go to Harvard, and again, you come out with this embodiment of this energy of we get shit done, it happens on time, it happens under budget, we exceed quota, right? Like it's a very masculine, competition is way behind, 2 miles behind, right? Like I see clear. You end up in this very embodied masculine, but we are now entering the age of unity, in which case we've got to bring in more feminine into us, and the feminine energies are coming down strongly, and we're being asked to bring that in. What are some ways, and what are your thoughts on, especially from a point of view of men, embodying more of their feminine side? Because I feel the texture of your energy is very balanced and leans more towards the feminine energy of really deep contemplation, thoughtfulness, silence, much more so than the let's go attack another country and let's take over another. How do you help people transition so that they can harmonize both sides into perfection inside?
So one of the key principles that I work with is that I do everything in my power not to go to sleep with judgment on my heart, or if I notice that it's there, that it's participating in my reality in parts of my life, what I'll do is I will say, is this how I want to live my life? Is this something that I'm willing to allow to attach and to amplify and to continue to grow? Because initially they're all seeds. They're all little tiny sprouts that can happen. They're potentials. And so they can turn into these colossal invasive species that can completely take over our reality and become obsessions and
Yes.
become a sickness and make the whole system sick. And so I've had this happen to me in a lot of ways. I went through my abandonment process when I was a teenager, and it made me so sick. And I covered it up with everything that I could think of, everything I could find, anything that was at my access. I did not care what it was. And this is what people will do is they'll cover up the judgment that they have, whether it's about themselves or about others. They'll watch TV shows. They'll do things that are quoted innocent and societally appropriate
Hmm.
in a lot of ways. They'll drink because it's legal. It's okay. It's just a drink, and like we get caught up in these cycles of thinking that these little things are okay. And what we're doing is we're not processing what's happening and not saying, you know what, this is something that happened. And do I need to judge this person? Or can I say, you know what, I'm not going to carry the burden over the situation that happened between me and this person, or that I was looking at and aware of what they were going through.
Mm.
It's really none of my business. And I can step back and say, I liberate you. I let you go. I send you with love. And so that's one of the main masculine, and like it's allowing the feminine nature to come in and soften the weak points of the masculine, therefore creating more of a powerful masculine energy, which is more balanced and loving, and it can stand up stronger. And so that's one of the main areas that I work with that is pretty universal across my life that makes the biggest difference.
Beautiful. How do people reach you, and what are the programs that you offer?
So I have a email that you can reach me at. It's lucas@truesovereigntable.com. And I offer a variety of different programs. I try to work with people for longer periods of time because it's it usually takes a little bit of time to integrate some of these more advanced practices and to go through the cleansing process that our body goes through. I also walk people through fasting practices. And so that's a whole nother process as well. If you're going from a standard American diet over to fasting, and to do this in a way that's respectful and loving to our body, that can be extremely powerful. So, yeah, if you want to email me, It's Lucas at TrueSovereigntTable.com, and I would love to work with you and to see what your situation is to see if it's a good fit. So yeah, I'd be super excited.
I'll go ahead and give a testimonial now for Lucas. So I dove into this whole spiritual movement about 7 years ago. It's been a little bit longer now. It's actually more like 8 years ago at this point. And so I've had this phenomenally blessed journey of experiences, both highs and lows. And I find myself, always drawn to new experiences. So I'm like an adventurer at heart. Like I just want to experience everything out there. With that said, when I visited Lucas at Soul Search and we just started chatting, and he was like, you want to try something? And I was like, sure, why not? And so Lucas did some clearing where I was on a red light bed and there was salt at my feet, and he did some selenite cleaning and cleansing. And I really felt lighter. When I got in the car, I was like, oh, something shifted. So you're a very powerful cleanser as a vessel in the sense that the work that you do, I can attest that it's measurable, I could feel it. And then a couple of days ago, we did a session. It was a Zoom session or Microsoft session. And it was specifically around like whatever comes up, you would take care of it. And it's all energy work. For those of you who are not familiar with energy work, you are not a body, you are not a mind, you're an energy in motion. So when the energy in motion is aligned with perfection, with God, with our creator, with love, compassion, then that energy is on purpose and it's joyful and it's in flow.
Mhm.
When that energy is disrupted, we get dis-ease, meaning stuff shows up. Our mind becomes dark and rooted in negativity. That actually is a disruption of the light that's going into your mind. And of course, following from that means you end up in tamas, or, which is the state of not wanting to do anything, not wanting to get out of bed. So all of this host of negative systems, it all begins with an energy system that is not receiving light, not holding light, and not aligned with light, right? Hence Lucas light. So we did this, and I mean, it was so powerful in terms of shifting some of those disruptions that had been happening to the point where the next morning meditation, we have a group meditation, I shared some of the benefits that I had received. So, because some of that stuff is personal, I would prefer not to share it on an open forum for how they use these conversations and then they reclip them and create new conversations. So, for my own privacy, I won't share all the great details. However, what I will say is that if you do a session with Lucas, you will notice a change, whether that is my ability to say no to coffee, which I never liked coffee. I had a disturbance in the energy field where I was drinking coffee every day, not able to say no, made no sense to me. And after the work, Lucas, I am not craving it, I'm not taking it. And if I take it, it's more like, okay, I had a couple of sips. So, just an example, if you're dealing with addictions of any kind, I think the energetic work that Lucas does could be helpful. If you are experiencing any kind of negativity in your system, negative thoughts, low energy, just feeling like you can't get out of bed, which is tamas, and we are in the age of tamas, by the way, having some energy work is very, very helpful, along with massaging your ears and saying smile to your body. By the way, when you talked about smile, there's this cutest song that's been going around. It's this gentleman, he made it up. It's like, all my cells are happy and singing, all my cells are happy and well, all my cells are happy and singing, all my cells are happy and well. All my cells happy and singing, right? You see how quickly you go from like to all my cells happy and singing. And it's an instant change. And you're telling your body, you're telling your cells, and I started adding, my blood and my bones are happy and singing.
Sure.
This ability to shift from I'm miserable, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm a victim, I'm in pain, to I'm joyful, I'm happy, I'm blessed, and I'm in flow. This is the entire journey we are here for. And my testimonial, and the reason I had invited Lucas on our podcast today is because I did test Lucas on myself and my own experience, and I did see a profound shift. So thank you so much for that, Lucas. And any parting advice for our listeners today?
Yeah, just be aware of your self-talk. And something that really affected me and my perspective on self-talk was I started to understand that it's almost like modern day black magic when we are cursing certain areas of our body by talking down to them over and over again. It creates that lower frequency of energy and it attracts more of that sick energy to that point. And we're doing the polar opposite when we say every cell in my body is well. And you're blessing it. You're saying, oh, it's actually beyond well. As a matter of fact, it's divine. It's something that's so special. What a lucky individual I am to get to do all of
Yes.
these different character traits and to have these within my system and to have this strong potential of infinite youth in each of these different areas of my body. What a blessing. What a true divine experience that we get to have in this life. Yeah. So yeah, if anyone's having any kind of any stuck energy in their system, this is what I specialize in, is helping people to release trauma that they're done with living for the rest of their life. And, it's making permanent decisions in our lives that this isn't something that I'm willing to continue to live with. And that's what I love to help people with. And I feel like it's a big part of my life to be able to help people liberate that.
Mental health crisis is real. It's here. It's affecting our students, our teens, our youth. And so any parent that's listening to this, where you've got children in loops of negativity, which is, by the way, created by this. If you've ever wondered about where these loops are coming from, they're coming from the phone. And we know that the kids, they have the phone. The phone is the appendage of the hand now. But for those whose kids are not playing 4 or 5 hours a day in the sun, where's the release of this negative energy that's coming in? So having help from someone like Lucas is can be enormously transformative in someone's experience of releasing those mental loops and learning to take care of their energy system. I think that's what we're called here to do, is to really learn that our energy body is more important than the physical body and the physical mind, and that we really need to start focusing on our energy body. So, Lucas, with that said, thank you for your service to humanity. Thank you for coming on our podcast today. And we will put in our show notes the email for Lucas and how to get in touch with him. Have
Oh,
a miraculous day, everyone.
Reena, thank you.